The worst possible time you could have picked for Nutella. How was breakfast?
I'm not happy with the standard of Nutella. It was far too hazelnutty.
It wasn't Nutella, was
No,
was it just chocolate spread?
it was hazelnut spread. Disguised
Same thing,
to look
though,
like
isn't it?
Nutella, yes. Seemed like such a good idea at the time.
There's a go. There's a go. Whoa.
We're in West Berlin, guys.
Yeah, but in the very end of West Berlin, Kreuzberg is a neighborhood that was surrounded big time by the wall. So people said, we don't really want to live there, because it was the end of the Western world, kind of. So that's why the rents have been very low here. There have been many flats that were empty, or even abandoned houses. So many people that were poor came here to live here, because they could afford the rents inside of the city center, even though it was also partly in the end of the city, but it was very close to the rest. So this part of Kreuzberg here is the very edgy part, I would say. Still nowadays, it feels kind of like that. It has kind of the vibe of that, but also then it's a very high-priced neighborhood, a very fancy neighborhood. I couldn't even afford a rent here. So that's why there's many things to see for us as well today. Then also what we have in Germany is so-called guest workers, because you guys bombed down this country. Thanks for that. But really, of course. Sorry? It was more than Arthur and friends. Yeah! So, and then there hasn't been too many male people that survived the war. So when the economy went up again back in the 50s and 60s, there haven't been people missing to work in the factories. So the German country thought we could invite some people from other countries with lower or with worse economy. And that has been then mainly in Berlin here, Turkish and Arabian people. So that means that this neighborhood here is the best neighborhood to get some Turkish or Arabian dishes. Because the German government thought they invite them as guest workers, and guest workers will leave one day. They haven't thought that guest workers are also humans, and humans make friends, and maybe stay with their friends. So then also they haven't given them proper language education classes. So they had to stay with their people from their countries. That made then kind of their sub-societies, and that's why, for example, all the Turkish and Arabian gathered up in Kreuzberg because the rents have been very low here, and then many of them bought also flats after a good while, and that's why they can still afford to live here. Many of these, like first or second generation of guest workers, don't even speak the German language nowadays. So you can see also that there's many guest workers from Turkish or Arabian, Turkey or Arabian countries. If you have a look on the buildings here, because that's what all the satellite phones are for. In numbers, now we have a statistic. The statistic is a bit older, it's from 2001, but that says around this place here, around this square here, Kompensator, it is 55% people without a German passport, 80% with a migration background. And there, like I said, the majority is Turkish Arabian. You can also see that because it's kind of a tradition in Germany that if you have a shop or something like that, a business, that you have to put up the name outside of the owner. You don't find that many German names on these sites here in Kreuzberg, especially around here. There's also another part of Kreuzberg, the 61 part, that's a bit cleaner. The part we're in is the 36 part. SO36 is the old postcode from the time when the city was still divided. And nowadays still, people use it as a reference because they're proud of this neighborhood. And here you can find some local patriotism sometimes. And even awesome graffiti then, which also will be one of our topics. And there, you can already start with graffiti here too. That is then pretty much Latin American influenced. And there we have one form of graffiti in Sao Paulo. It's so-called Bichação. Bichação has been gang graffiti earlier, but nowadays this gang graffiti is more used as a cultural code by graffiti writers. So when I say graffiti, that to me means name writing. Modern graffiti is about writing the name, getting seen with the name, getting famous with the name, and that works more for the old scene. It's also one spot or one point where we can separate graffiti from street art. Graffiti is about writing names, getting seen with the names, getting famous with the name, and that's considered by many people first of all egoistic. That's also what it is, but it's good fun, try out. Street art, therefore, quite often has political, critical, so-called critical intentions. You have social criticism in there, and things like that. You have cute pieces, you have sweet things where even my mom or my grandma would say, oh, that's cute. So that's the point where we can separate graffiti from street art. Sometimes it's not as easy as that, sometimes it's harder, sometimes even not really possible. Let's try what we can find there. Has anybody an association with graffiti here? Any idea what graffiti is? How would you describe that or define that? Any ideas? Don't be shy.
Like a tag for a gang.
What is a tag?
I don't know, it's a gang name. So they know that their gang is in that area.
Yeah. Could say so. I wouldn't say that graffiti is really like gang related. Like in the United States, still yes. In European countries, I wouldn't really say so. But we have crews, and crews consider themselves also sometimes as a gang or call themselves a gang, but it's less crime related than besides that by painting on other people's property. Of course, that's a crime. Never do that, or at least never be caught. But yeah, a tag is the most simple thing ever. It's the root of everything that's graffiti or street art related we're gonna see today. A tag is just a simple written name more than the crew name, because if it's about getting seen and getting known with a name, if I do that alone, it's good fun. But if I do it together with friends, it's even more fun. It's safer because people can watch out for the other side. Police, for example, because it's not allowed to do that.
Amy, what do you think?
I'm getting lost. No.
So, now we are on Raw area. Raw is an old train depot and train station where trains were fixed and train supplies have been built.
Okay, so I suck at everything.
But how about there? Is it just when it's recording? Is it recording?
Yes, I've just pressed record.
Why wasn't it recording before?
It was on pause.
And this is coming, Amy. Genuinely. Like, Katie's on and she was like, that was a healthy open bit, and I was like,